Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jay and I do makeup reviews, skincare device reviews, all that is beauty, makeup, hair. I try to touch on all of it. So welcome. Today I'm going to be reviewing and kind of doing a bit of a try on of the new Danessa Myricks palette, the Groundwork palette. Now this palette is actually intended to be an all-over face palette. You're able to do your eyes with it, your like contour, highlight, brows, lips. So we're gonna kind of try it in all these different capacities today and see how far we get. So just showing you the palette to start off. Palette looks like this. I've dabbled in it a tiny bit, not too much so far, so you're getting it straight out of the box pretty much. So what you'll see here that makes this palette interesting is that there are actually two formulas per color. So the first formula, the larger pan that you see here, is a kind of creamy, they call it a pomade, so able to be used in lots of different capacities on your face, more akin to a cream than a powder, but has a powdery and matte finish. And then the one next to it, the little guy, is a powder. So if you have a color that you're using and you want to intensify it or add a bit of more dimension, longer wear, you can kind of layer a powder over top. So you really kind of get a 2-for-1 there. All these pans are magnetic, so you can kind of put your finger in this little hole that is present and you can just pop the colors out if you want to move them into smaller palettes, which is really nice and really helpful, I think, especially for makeup artists. And each pan has a name on the back, so you won't get confused and you know exactly what you're using. So to start off, I'm gonna do today a bit of a, I always kind of do something a bit more natural. We're gonna go natural, but with a bit of depth around the eyes, and then we're gonna contour, maybe do a bit of brow stuff. I don't typically fill in my brows. I've gotten them microbladed, so I don't really need to, but we can kind of mess around with it and see what that looks like. And we'll even try lips today, so we're gonna see how things go. To start off, I'm gonna use this new brush that I got by Merit. It's a double-ended brush. I'm gonna use it to dip into Core, which is right here, as well as Mirage, to lay a bit of a base for color. So I'm just gonna lightly dust my brush, and like hardly anything comes off, it looks like, but it's enough to make an impact. So I'm gonna get in there. So this is really, really close to my skin color. It's just evening things out, making them a little bit more smooth. Go in again for the other eye. The powders have an ingredient called Upsolite in them, which is supposed to be really good for kind of like smoothing out any kind of creases or texture on your skin. So that's really a nice feature as well. This is actually my first Danessa Myricks product, and so yeah, I saved it for when she had like a really big launch. I've always been curious about it, but yeah, so the powders have Upsolite, so again, really nice for evening out textures as well. So we'll see so far that I've just kind of laid a base, really, really natural. Now I wanna go in and add a little bit of depth. So I think I'm gonna I might mix a little bit of Desert, which is right here, and a little bit of Chiseled together to kind of start working into the creases a little bit. Using a really light hand. You start to see a bit of dimension building there. It's actually been so long since I've done like a full eye. I feel like because I just work all the time, I don't really get to play as much with makeup. It's very much like everyday professional makeup, kind of boring, but it's nice to actually have some options and variety to kind of play with. And you really can do like a supernatural, like I could just do this and like throw liner on and contour and I could just go to work like this. So it's nice that it's like, you can use it for doing very neutral makeup, or you can kind of intensify and give yourself some smoke and some dimension. Okay, so I do want to give myself a little bit more shape and dimension here. So I'm gonna go in with, I think, Harvest, which is this color right here. These are, as I'm seeing them on the screen, they look a little bit lighter than they look in person. In person, they have a bit more depth to them, I think. So just a heads up on that. So I'm gonna go in with Harvest and really gently work it into the crease here as well. And maybe also kind of down by the lash line. You can start to see it's forming a bit more shape of the eye and in the crease there. Woo, hello. So you can see how pigmented it is. I mean, I'm just dusting the pans and I'm getting a lot of color. So even though these pans kind of look a little, I mean, they're decent size for like an eyeshadow, but if you think about a pan size for like a contour, you'd think of something bigger. But, you know, I feel like they're so pigmented that you really don't need a lot at all to be able to get the desired pickup of the product. Okay, I'm actually gonna go in a bit here and create a bit more depth on the inner of my crease too. It's looking really nice. It's really natural, really smooth colors. I'm liking this a lot. I feel like we should go even maybe a bit more deep. Let's go a little bit more deep. Let's take Bark again, and we're taking the cream color, or the pomade rather. Let's kind of work it into the edges here. Start to create a bit of a linery, soft liner effect. You really can just build with this product. You know what? Let's get crazy. Let's get crazy. Put some Bark up in here too. It's looking so smooth. You know, I really like that it's all really natural, but really blending seamlessly into one another. I'm like super in love with these formulas. Like, incredible. Oops, sorry for the sounds if you can hear that. I live by a busy street and we often get a lot of loud vehicles moving by. Okay, so I'm actually gonna leave the shadow as it is. I'm kind of liking that. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take the same brush. I'm gonna take this color Harvest, and I'm gonna take Bark with it, and I'm gonna start to put it a little bit underneath my lash line here, on the bottom of my eyes. Again, to start to create some more dimension. If you can see that, we're kind of creating a bit of almost smoke underneath the eye. And now let's try and use this as a liner. So I'm gonna go in with Bark. I don't wanna go for like a straight up black. I wanna go for this dark brown. It seems dark enough to me that it would be a good liner color. And maybe I'll get a touch of black and mix it up a little bit. So it's like a dark brown we're gonna use. Okay, so now, and you can see just how pigmented this is. I would imagine this palette is really good for traveling. Like, you don't have to take an extra liner or contour or eyeshadow palette. It's all just like right there for you, which is so convenient. And I personally am kind of steering away from like a harsh liner line. I still do it every now and again, but I'm steering a bit away from a like a solid winged liner with like a pen. I like a bit of a softer look. Okay, what are we thinking? I think we have like nice color, nice dimension, nice blendability, and you know, I might not tightline with this just because, you know, I don't know why. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably use a pencil to get a bit more precision, perhaps. And I don't necessarily want like this brush like in my eye, given that it's been all over my lids and bacteria or whatever. I would just use like a pen to line the inside of my eyes if we wanted to tight line the waterline. But for now, this is looking nice. I'm enjoying this. So let's go into, let's put some concealer on now that I like that look. This is my Dior Forever Skin Correct in 3W, which is my favorite concealer ever. One thing I don't like about this concealer, I will say, is you can see here, a lot of the product gets inside the cap and then like eventually end up with like a squishy mess on the outside that you have to clean up, and you kind of lose product in the process. So that's a bit annoying. I hope that they come up with something that fixes that, like new packaging, because that, otherwise it's my absolute favorite, and I will not stop using it because of that annoyance, because it's just that good that it needs to be part of my life, despite the little quirks of the packaging. Okay, concealer, check. I might also apply a little bit of concealer to kind of like cover up color issues. So I have a little tiny bitty zit that's just drying out there. I did such a good job not picking the zit, guys. Man, what is it about picking zits? It just feels like you can't not. But I did a good job this time. Okay, so I'm gonna cover that up. This is my like color correcting concealer thing. I also have a little dark spot on my nose there. Don't know what that is, but we're covering it up. This is the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer in medium dark to caramel. So if you're looking for a nice blemish correcting, color correcting item, that's a great one. Okay, so now that I finished, and I'm not gonna do a full foundation, I just don't think I need it, but now I'm gonna go in with a brush for contouring. So I'm going to take Sculpted, which is this color here. This one right here. What I like about this is it has a cool undertone, so I think I'm just dusting really lightly. Again, you can see that nothing's really happening to the pan, dusting really lightly. But this has a cool undertone, so it's really good for creating that more like shadowy effect. Right in the cheekbone area. I'm gonna go up top here. I might need to dip in a little bit more for that. Okay, let's start with that. I forgot my brush to blend, so I'm gonna use this blush brush. Hopefully it's fine. We're just gonna blend up. Again, that cool undertone really helps it look like a shadow, which is what you want it to look like when you're contouring. You want it to be cool, sculpted. I'm gonna go with the same brush and I'm gonna start to do my nose. So just gently, the more gentle you are, the more I think seamless the blend is. Takes a little longer, but I feel like it's worth it. And ultimately when you contour, you kind of want to like blend the brow bone in with the nose contour. So I think that's looking really good. I did try to get some on my forehead. It did not really work. Or it did, but you can't really see it in this light. So we're just gonna boop, boop, boop. Another place to contour would be up here, kind of in this area. Which again, I'm just gonna pull up with this brush. Sorry, this method is not necessarily the ideal, but we're trying to test the product, right? Not my skills, so there you go. Okay, so I feel like we're looking dimensional. The nose contour looks great. Again, the formula is really nice. It's done a really good job with all these different areas so far. Let's go in with a under eye setting powder in this palette. So we have the color Sandstone here. I'm gonna use the powder to see how this looks under the eyes. And if it actually does help with texture and making things look really smooth. The color's good. I think it really does a really nice job. You can see this line here and it's like non-existent over here. I mean, that's pretty cool. Come on now. Let's see if it does the same on this side. I mean, that's pretty good. Doesn't fully remove that line, but it does a really nice job. So that is another thing you don't have to pack if you're traveling, and you can take this along with you. It's looking great. Oh my gosh. Okay. We are happy with this palette so far. Okay, let's finish things off. Oh, actually I did mention I would do brows for you guys. So I'm gonna take, again, I'm gonna do the Bark and Tourmaline. So this dark brown and the black together, because my eyebrows are kind of this dark brownish color. I don't necessarily have the best brush for this, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of color, fill things out. What's nice about this palette is that you can kind of like customize everything, right? So if the perfect color of your eyebrows isn't there, you get to kind of just like mix it and make it. That's a great color. Do it again. I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to go in with a brow gel and set that. This is my go-to brow gel at the moment. The 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. It's just a sample, but it is the best one that I've tried so far. I've tried the was it Refi one, and that's just, for me, that's a hot mess. I don't know about you guys, but I have not been able to make that one work for me. But this one is easy, and it doesn't get, I find the Refi one gets like clumpy and goopy and like bleh on my brows, and we're not here for that. So I think this is much better. If you're looking for one, that's the one I would personally recommend. And if you have any others, let me know. Okay, last kind of couple steps. Let's do the cheeks. You know, I love Myricks blushes. They're so easy. Might want a little more intensity actually, just because the eyes are done. So let's make the face all done as well. There we go. A little more punch to that. Cool. And then let's lastly go in and try to do some lips with this palette. So they claim to be able to do lips here. I'm only gonna try to do, I'm just gonna wipe this brush off because it has colors on it that will be too dark for my lips. I'm not gonna color my lips with this. I just don't think there's colors that would make a nice nude for me in this. I like a little more pink. So I'm gonna use a lipstick I already have, or a couple that I already have, but I'm going to line with this palette. So looking at this, I feel like maybe somewhere between Harvest and Core might be a good color for my lip liner. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and start mixing those two sort of together. All right, let's see what happens. It's a pretty good color. Pretty close to my natural lip line color. I'm taking a little bit more Core than I am of Harvest, just so you guys know. Even, let's see, try a bit more. There. Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty nice color. I mean, the lips are looking luscious. The lips are looking luscious. Okay. I'm gonna go in with some of my favorite lipsticks to really finish it off. I have Pillow Talk and Bitch Perfect here. I'm gonna go in with a bit of both. I like to use Pillow Talk more on the outside edges of the lips. And then Bitch Perfect goes more in the center of the lips, kind of make them pop. Okay, that's it, guys. This is, I'd say full face is like 90% Danessa Myricks. What do you think? Is it worth it? I mean, I think personally being able to do almost all your face with one palette is pretty incredible. So it's a yes for me. And I think it looks very nice. Again, like everything looks very seamless. The eyes look very natural. The contour is seamless. The nose contour is also seamless. The finishes are beautiful. So I think this is about $88 Canadian, a lot for a palette. But then if you think about all that it's doing, it's offering you a lot. It's your eyeliner, it's your contour, it's your eyeshadow, it's your eyebrows, it's your lip liner. I mean, that's a lot that it can do. So let me know what you guys think. If you've tried it, let me know. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.